Dear universe, thank you for my awesome kid. Thank you for all the amazing people that I've been able to connect with through Kick-Ass Switch. Thank you for this super cool necklace that my dad scored for me at an auction. Thank you for LA Rain and Mushroom Coffee and my cute little VW bug and all things witchy and magical. Thank you for YouTube, friends, and awesome sound effects. Hi, welcome to Kick-Ass Switch, putting the K in Magick. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you're watching a video about the magic of gratitude. And I mean that quite literally. I am literally talking about the transformative quality that is innate, that is built right into gratitude. And when I say magic, I mean transformation, the ability to change, changing consciousness in conformity with your will, or just creating any kind of change in conformity with your will. And if you have the will to get yourself to a place of gratitude, you can change so much about your life. And I think that there are a couple of words in the spiritual community that aren't that sexy and aren't that fun and that get thrown around all the time. Books are written about it, blog posts, podcasts. Gratitude is one of them. Forgiveness is another one. It's interesting how there's an intensity to shadow work, for example, that people love. They get really excited about talking about shadow work. But when you talk about things like gratitude, keeping a gratitude list or daily gratitude practice, it's funny how people will often tune out because it doesn't seem that exciting. I think the perception a lot of times is that it's kind of Pollyanna, goody two-shoes, and it's just something that you do to be a nice person, to be a good person. And I think a lot of people that gravitate toward more non-traditional paths, let's say, they're kind of over people telling them how to be good, what a good girl does, what a good person does. We don't want to hear it. So I'm not going to tell you to practice gratitude and thanksgiving in the spirit of being a good person, although I think it's lovely. I do think it's lovely to express your gratitude, but it's also incredibly important to understand as a magician. It does a number of things. One thing it does is it brings you in to the present moment. When you actually take a pause to think about what you are grateful in your life, it's amazing how if you don't even know where to begin because you feel so ungrateful in the moment and you just start listing like, I'm grateful that I have feet. I'm grateful that California hasn't fallen off into the ocean yet. I am grateful that I have lips. I'm grateful that I can breathe. It starts kind of having a little snowball effect, and if you hang with it, you'll start thinking about things that actually create the feeling of gratitude. You might not really feel gratitude when you're saying I have gratitude for my feet, although you should, because some people don't have feet, and it's worth thinking about, and I know that that's not very moving to a lot of people. But if you hang with listing everything you're grateful for, eventually you're going to hit on something that feels real and that actually generates the real actual feeling of gratitude in your heart and in your being. And then that is when you experience a shift, and you literally shift into a place of gratitude. So it might not be your feet or your lips or your breath or California not yet falling off into the ocean, but it might be, I'm grateful that I was able to buy 2 bags full of groceries today. I'm grateful that my sister is talking to me after so much time of not talking to me, or something that's very personal to you that has maybe a story behind it. Once you land on that, something is activated within you, and it does 3 different things that I think are very magical. It brings you into the present moment, and as witches, as magical practitioners, people who practice the law of attraction, we know that it is in the present moment where our power lies. So getting into the present moment is extraordinarily important if you want to practice magic. So it does that. It's like a little time travel machine. It takes you out of the past, it takes you out of the future, and it brings you right into the present moment where your place of power is. That's your point of power. It also is very, very attractive, speaking of the law of attraction. So once you're resonating with what you're grateful for, you start attracting more things to be grateful for. And you can really focus on getting into gratitude in a specific direction. So if you want to create more wealth in your life, you start searching around in your heart and looking for ways that you're already wealthy, that you can already express gratitude for, to kind of get the ball rolling. And you'll know when you hit on something. It might get you a little choked up, or you might just actually feel a release of tension. You'll know when you hit on it. Don't stop until you hit on it. And then you're in the vortex, so to speak, that magical place where like starts attracting like. And it really, truly does this. I encourage you to practice keeping a gratitude journal. If you don't believe me, where you're listing, let's say, 10 things to be grateful for every morning when you wake up or every night before you go to bed. If you do it with some sincerity, you start finding that more things start showing up that are in alignment with that. You're literally getting yourself into alignment. And then the third thing that I think is really interesting, but also involves another word that I don't think people are that crazy about, is it brings you to the point of forgiveness. It brings you incredible grace. When you get into a place of gratitude, the first person you're able to forgive is yourself for all of your crappy, icky ingratitude that you have been making yourself suffer through. It takes you out of your story, and you're able to have some compassion for yourself. And something that comes to mind, because if you're watching this video in real time, Thanksgiving is on the horizon, like right now. It's about to happen. The holidays, Christmas, Hanukkah, Yule. A lot of us have issues with our families. Some certain family members are very triggering, and a lot of people don't want to go home for the holidays, or they kind of dread it. If you can get yourself to a place of gratitude that this person, this family member who's always triggering you is still alive, they actually want to spend the holidays with you, even if they're dreading it just like you are, even if there's a grudge there, something is bringing you two together over and over and over again. And sometimes there's a thin line between love and hate, and if you can just get into a place of gratitude that, like, wow, we still have this opportunity to mend these fences. We still are both here on this planet. We still have this time to forgive each other, to understand each other, to love each other. We still exist. We still have a family unit. It can actually magically tip you over that line, the thin line between love and hate, get you to a place of feeling gratitude for that and opening your heart up for forgiveness. And forgiveness is crazy transformational. It changes your life. It's not about letting that person off the hook. It's about setting yourself free. And it's also not about inviting that person into your life if they're not healthy for you. But I promise you, if they have their hooks into you that way, to where they're literally creating a sense of dread in you, or you think about them and you're giving like speeches in your mind while you're taking a shower about like how you're going to tell them off, or how you're going to answer them if they say this weird thing about the election or whatever it is. If they have their hooks into you, you have unfinished business with that person. And the way you're going to finish it is getting to a place of gratitude, because let's just say that is some kind of soul contract you have with that person, and it's an amazing opportunity to grow, to learn something about yourself, and to release something that is not serving you. So even if you can just get to a place of gratitude for that, you're able to forgive and you're able to release. So I strongly believe in the power of gratitude, and it's definitely one of those things that you can prove to yourself that it works. But I do encourage you, don't just be like, I'm grateful for blue, I'm grateful for this table. Like, you can't just go through the motions. You have to kind of do it until you hit on something that you're truly grateful for. And then once you get to that place, keep going, keep listing things that feel like that. And it's going to, if you've never done this before, it's going to feel so energizing and uplifting. You'll literally feel the energy change around you and within you, and you will begin to see things show up into your life if you can maintain a practice like that are a match to that. So there's a piece in the winter solstice module of the Psychospiritual Wheel of the Year called the Gratitude Fairy, where I have you kind of look at gratitude as a magical fairy, a granter of wishes. There are a lot of fun components to this module. It's very much about bringing the light back into your life. I know a lot of people really struggled at the end of this year, and there's a lot of dread coming up for the new year, which is so unfortunate. You don't want to start your year like that. So there's just some really beautiful practices that you can put into effect right now and all through the holidays using this module. So if you want to pick that up, there's a link here, there, anywhere. If you just want to start with a basic gratitude practice, let the holidays be an invitation for you. Get a spiral notebook, get a fancy journal, get a napkin, get a post-it note, whatever you have to do, and start listing things that you're grateful for. And don't stop until you hit on the feeling. And then that's when you know you've activated this magical thing called gratitude, and you can prove to yourself it's not about being Pollyanna. It's not about positive thinking. It's about real transformation and creating the kick-ass life of your dreams. How I'm always talking about gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for being a part of this whole witchy world. And until we meet again, happy holidays and much love to you. Peace.